1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be. In time and space. So all the certifications are done. Well, with the exception of the 2 that aren't unlocked. So now it's just time to start saving. Now, I know I could create a company. You can create small companies pretty cheaply. I got plenty of money for that. But everybody still keeps saying, well, look, you're going to want to get the big money, and all the planes are going to be really expensive, and your insurance is going to be really expensive, and every little mistake you make is going to be terribly expensive. And if you don't have a lot of money saved up, you're going to be crying real fast. Okay. Well, we've got our certifications out of the way. And so now I don't have a reason to spend money, or spend my credits. So now it's just saving. So we're at 409,000 credits, and, might as well just make as much as we can over the next, I don't know, till I'm just too bored to go on. But then as we go on, it's going to be more of the same. But we'll see. We'll see how the career mode evolves, and will they open up markets, and we just don't know all of their plans yet. So let's hope there are bigger plans. Okay, so it seems at the moment the most high-paying jobs are these agricultural jobs. Okay, but they're not all created equal. They're all the same difficulty, but they're not all created equal. So you might want to hunt around to find some that pay the most. So as I was scrolling and looking, most were in the 50s and 60s. And then I hit a 70, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. For a couple hours worth of work, 70,000 credits. Now, I don't know how these prices reflect in the real world. What they're like in the real world. But if this is anything like what the prices are in the real world, now, and again, as an operator, hey, wow, those prices are fantastic. As a consumer, Now we have another reason to understand why food prices are so high. I mean, ultimately, if you were a farmer and the fields that I've been spraying aren't very big, but 50, 60,000, or in this case, 81,000 credits, 81,100 to be precise. 81,000, let's just say that was dollars, $81,000 to do, an hour, maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes at most, maybe, of crop dusting. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous because the costs have got to be sent on to the consumer, right? So anyway, again, as an operator and somebody playing this sim and career mode down here in Cochise County, Arizona. Zoom out a little bit. It's southeast corner of Arizona. Here's Tucson over here. Okay. Little place called Cochise County. And yeah, 81,000 and 75,000. So I'm going to be doing those this afternoon. What's this one? 69. So either way, there are jobs out there, at least 81. I'll look around and see if there are any more 81s. I need to do some more VIPs. Let's see what this pays. 36. Yeah, so the agricultural stuff is right now the highest paying stuff. Okay, but before we jump in and start doing this agricultural flying, I did want to take a look at the area a little bit. It is interesting. Well, one, it's Cochise. So Indian. But I pulled up the wiki on it, and it says Cochise County is a county in the southeastern corner of the United States of Arizona, in the United States state of Arizona. It's named after Cochise, Chiricahua, and I hope I've got that right. Chiricahua, that's probably not right, Apache, who was a key war leader during the Apache Wars. The population was 125,447 at the 2020 census. The county seat is Bisbee, and the most populous city is Sierra Vista. Cochise County includes the Sierra Vista Douglas, Arizona Metropolitan Statistical Area. The county borders southwestern New Mexico and the northwestern Mexican state of Sonora. In 1528, Spanish explorers Alvar Nunez Cabeza de Vaca Estevanico, my lord, that was a long name. Alvar Nunez Cabeza de Vaca Estevanico and Fray Marcos Deniza survived a shipwreck off the Texas coast. Captured by Native Americans, they spent 8 years finding their way back to Mexico City via the San Pedro Valley. Their journals, maps, and stories led to the Cibola, 7 Cities of Gold myth. Wow. The expedition of Francisco Vázquez de Coronado in 1539, using it as his route north through what they called the Huachuca Mountains of Pima, and later part of the mission routes north, but was actually occupied by the Sobipuri descendants of the Hohokam. They found a large pueblo described as a small city between modern Benson and Whetstone, and several smaller satellite villages and smaller. I've lost my place. Pueblos, including one on Fort Huachua. Yeah, I'm just going to skip ahead. Some of these names are killing me. Dun, 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 dun. So this was a main route. So those guys that were stranded and captured by the Indians, I guess it seems like they were brought here in some way. And then it took them 8 years to get away and make their way south back down to Mexico. And they ended up using their route as a trail north, it seems. The war chief Cochise, the county seat was Tombstone until 1929 when it moved to Bisbee. A syndicated television series which aired from 1956 to 1958, The Sheriff of Cochise, starring John Bromfield, was filmed on location in Cochise County. The Jimmy Stewart movie Broken Arrow and subsequent television show of the same name starring John Lipton, which also aired from 1956 to 1958, were set in Cochise County but filmed at other locations. Okay. All right. So let me zoom back down in here. It's a dry lake bed. Now I've got Bush Talk Radio open as well. Let me show you that. Maybe. Yes. Okay, so there's the dry lake bed.
The Wilcox Playa is a large endorheic dry lake or sink adjacent to Wilcox, Arizona in Cochise County, in the southeast corner of the state. It is part of the Sonoran Desert ecoregion and is the remnant of a Pleistocene-era pluvial lake Cochise. Portions of the dry lake bed have been used as a bombing range by the U.S. military. It was designated a National Natural Landmark in 1966 for its fossil pollen captured underground, the thousands of sandhill cranes that roost in the area, and the largest diversity of tiger beetles in the United States.
Yeesh. Tiger beetles? Are those the ones with the big horns on them, or are those the rhino beetles? Either way, a large population of beetles? No. That's just nightmarish. So there is a little airport right here. It's probably where we're going to be taking off from. 4AZ9 soft runway. All right, beyond the dry lake bed, Fort Bowie.
Fort Bowie was a 19th century outpost of the United States Army located in southeastern Arizona near the present-day town of Wilcox, Arizona. The remaining buildings and site are now protected as Fort Bowie National Historic Site. Fort Bowie was established by the California Volunteers in 1862 after a series of engagements between the California Column and the Chiricahua Apaches, the most violent of which was the Battle of Apache Pass in July 1862. For more than 30 years, Fort Bowie and Apache Pass were the focal point of military operations, eventually culminating in the surrender of Geronimo in 1886 and the banishment of the Chiricahuas to Florida and Alabama. The fort was abandoned in 1894.
Wow. All right, back over to the lake bed. They said it was a bombing area for the military. I wish they would let us have military stuff. I wish they would bring back the combat series.
Bonita Canyon is a box canyon on the western slope of the Chiricahua Mountains in southeastern Arizona, which lies at 5,360 feet in elevation and opens in a southwesterly direction into the Sulphur Springs Valley.
That's not where we're at.
The canyon walls are capped with outcroppings of volcanic tuff and separated by a narrow valley about a quarter of a mile wide. Bonita Creek flows west through the northern edge of the valley, along the northern wall of the canyon. The valley is carpeted with a variety of wild grasses and forested with oak and Arizona cypress. Animal life includes mountain lions, bobcats, black bear, mule deer, various bird and reptile species, and much more. Jaguars have also been spotted in the canyon. Bonita Canyon is now part of the Chiricahua National Monument and is also home to the Faraway Ranch Historic District, as well as a public campground. The headquarters for the Chiricahua National Monument is located just outside Bonita Canyon in the adjoining Madrona Canyon, near the Faraway Ranch.
All right, we'll just do a couple more, and they're going to be to the north and west. What an interesting area. So, as you see, there's the dry lake bed over here. It's just going to be over here about 9 o'clock.
The Little Rincon Mountains are a small range of mountains, lying to the east of the Rincon Mountains, at Tucson, of eastern Pima County, Arizona. The range is located in northwest Cochise County and is part of the western border of the San Pedro River and Valley, the major valley and river of western Cochise County. The river is northward flowing to meet the Gila River. Its headwaters are south of the U.S.-Mexico border in northern Sonora. A small part of the Little Rincon Range's southwest lies in Pima County. Description: the Little Rincon Mountains are a 15 miles long range that trends southwest to northeast. It is a linear range, about 8 miles wide, and is created by a canyon that separates it from the eastern flank of the mostly north to south, central block of the Rincon Mountains. The canyon is named Page Canyon, and the major peaks of the range lie near its headwaters in the southwest. The peaks from south to north are San Juan Hill, at 5,269 feet, North Star Peak at 6,041 feet, Forest Hill, at 6,114 feet, Bald Mountain, at 5,324 feet, and Wild Horse Mountain. The highest point of the range is Forest Hill at 6,114 feet.
All right, and then one more, and let's get going. So now it's just, we're going south. So there's the Rincon Mountains right above us, and then coming south is another little mountain range down here. Kartchner Caverns.
Kartchner Caverns State Park is a state park of Arizona, United States, featuring a show cave with 2.4 miles of passages. The park is located 9 miles south of the town of Benson and west of the north-flowing San Pedro River. Long hidden from view, the caverns were discovered in 1974 by local cavers, assisted by a state biologist who helped in its preservation. The park encompasses most of a down-dropped block of Paleozoic rocks on the east flank of the Whetstone Mountains. The caverns are carved out of limestone and filled with spectacular speleothems which have been growing for 50,000 years or longer, and are still growing. Careful and technical cave state park development and maintenance are designed to preserve the cave system.
Forgive me, since I've been starting, I have not checked the stream, but wanted to check and make sure everything's all right. Okay, good. Uh-oh. Oh no, the desktop audio was on. And the audio browser wasn't on. Hopefully you weren't hearing echoing or anything like that. Okay. All right, well, here we go. They want you to be as fast as possible. So make as much money as fast as you can. But it can be really dangerous because, you know, you're dive bombing quite a bit, and so it's up to you how you want to play these agricultural ones. I think you're still going to get paid no matter what, even if you go a little bit slower, and you may not get a great score when it comes to your speed. And I don't know how much that influences your bonus, but I have tried going as fast as I can, and only once did I get a halfway decent score for time wise. Other than that, just getting more and more experience being able to spray properly. I've been either undershooting, overspraying, or underspraying, and it's just going to take some experience. Did my first search and rescue yesterday. That was a lot of fun. And I got the heavy helicopter certification done. Okay. All right, Cochise. Let's go get our chalks. Dude, is that back here? Yeah. If you have not seen the underside of this thing and what makes up your sprayer, I mean, of course, here's the sprayer bar. This is where I'm assuming they fill us up. Follow that big pipe down in here. Here's what it's going to come down into. Your tanks, and this is why you're so nose heavy. And then I'm assuming this giant fan is it's driving all that pressure. I think they've got these big pads up here because you're probably always smacking your head doing the dive. Probably not what that's for, but...
Ground service K&N prepped for reload. Roger, that refill in progress.
And we're not paying for the darn fertilizer. The farmer is. And you can only imagine how much they're being gouged for all of that.
I'm Sebastian. I'll be your contact for this service. Call sign Thicket 1. Quite a challenge with today's service, so I hope you're in good shape. Jessica Blanchard, a local farmer, hired us to spray much-needed growth booster over her fields. Fortunately, you're the right person for the job. The plan is to fly to the target area 11 nautical miles away south from here. Need something else? Right, I hear the aircraft roaring. Let's go.
Papa Tree traffic Kin Romeo Alpha Golf.
Easy.
To runway 21.
My lord, we don't even have any throttle engaged. No, the engines were done cycling all the way. My gosh. Well, don't take off too soon. Let me lock the tail wheel or unlock it. Not really doing much. Let's see if that helps. Oh yeah, much better. Time for a new joystick. I've got a not only is it pulling by itself, but I think I've got a permanent spring problem on my rudder. Get back to my nav screen. So if you haven't seen one of these before, and I wonder how in the real world, if they actually have something like this, you know, it's what I mean is when we fly over the field and as we make our sprays, it will show us on the screen there. It'll show us every line that we make. Every pass we make in a green or yellow, green, yellow color. And I can only imagine how difficult that is and has been up to this point when you don't have assistance like that. So being able to know what your wingspan is and know what your sprayer bar is and being able to visually do it without any assistance has to be incredibly, incredibly tough. I'm surprised they don't put some sort of food safe dye. And who knows, maybe they do. So you can see where you've sprayed. I don't know much about aerial aviation.
Papa Tree traffic in Romeo Alpha Golf 514, taking off runway 21 departure to the east.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the engine. She speeds up really quick and goes into these like turbo boosts. What the hell? All right. Here we come, Cochise County. So hot.
Remember, client satisfaction is what matters most. It's big area, so this should be a good day. Did you catch the weather report this morning? Pay attention to the wind and adjust as needed. I'll assist you as much as possible from the ground. Teamwork for the win.
I didn't see the wind blowing at all, really. The windsock was just hanging there. Oh, settle down. So this is that dry lake bed. Now, so far I have not tried to do this with anything but just leaving it the way it is. I don't normally haven't messed with the propeller on this, but I think I'm going to this time. I wonder if I can do slower passes. You're supposed to do 110 knots on a pass, but your speed is all over the place when you're moving around. Oh crap. I forgot that my trim down button is tied to my sprayer. So as we get closer up here, you'll see the field appear on our main screen. It'll also be outlined on the ground, which is nice. Doesn't want to slow down. Oh, wow. Wow. I haven't done a round one.
First, check if nothing's dangerous around.
Yeah. Pulled too much propeller out. All right, I need to add a little bit more propeller back in. Don't crash. Because I've got to be able to hit 110 just going straight forward. Okay. All right. Always on the verge of a stall here. No, I screwed up. I shouldn't have messed with the damn thing. Let's put it back. Okay, it's back. Typical. So you need to be 30 feet off the ground doing 110 knots. Oh shit.
Hey, you're flying too low.
Yeah, I see that. So yeah, now it becomes monotonous, and again, she's a pain in the butt. If you slow down too much, trying to be too aggressive on a turn, you're in danger of stalling. Can we put it any more? Okay. Fast. Too slow. And I'm too zoomed out.
Start and stop of the spray at both ends of your pass.
Yeah.
About being efficient.
So yeah, and that's all you can spray. We don't have a wider sprayer bar. And so It's a tough job, man. Yikes. Just too damn heavy. I'm gonna have to watch some experts and try to pick up some tips. And, you know, what do they have to say about the way you should fly these things? What's the most efficient way? Doesn't help that I'm not in VR, so then it's always tough moving my camera around. There's 110. It's gonna be a big crisscross of lines. No structure to this one yet. It is much easier in a rectangular field, I think. Oh, we clipped the top of that roof.
You actually touched the ground. Again.
She's paying too much attention. Up over the cacti. Yeah, I mean, imagine in the past not having any sort of visual indicator of what you've done.
keeping a good pace. Almost a quarter of the area is finished. Manage the start and stop of the spray at both ends of your pass. All about being efficient.
Oh, do shut up.
Be better. Use spread material outside the zone. Try to be more precise.
Hi, Captain. There it is, fine what?
manage the start and stop of the spray at both ends of your pass. All about being efficient.
Those look like factory towers over there. Again, maybe for the experts, they can do this. They can knock a field out in no time. This just seems it really does. It seems the goofiest way to do this job. It seems terribly goofy to be doing this. But again, I don't know the science behind it. How much, the speed you're moving and how much you're putting down, and
that last pass could be better. Use spread material outside the zone. Try to be more precise. Manage the start and stop of the spray at both ends of your pass. All about being efficient.
Yeah, I mean, the size of the plane, the size of the sprayer bar, there's none of it seems to make any sense. I know that you can unlock helicopter missions doing this. That seems the absolute better way to go. Doing it with a helicopter. At least you can control it. You're wasting so much fuel and making yourself sick just flying around doing circles. Damn trees. Screw me up.
That last pass could be better. You spread material outside the zone. Try to be more precise.
I'm all about VTOLs now. If you watch my stuff lately, I'm just enamored with them. I love them. To me, again, that'd be perfect. The VTOLs would be perfect because you can dial in the speed that you want. You can, yeah. It's just such a precise way to fly.
Halfway home. Manage the start and stop of the spray at both ends of your pass. All about being efficient.
Yep.
is fine.
There it is, fine.
Be better. Use spread material outside the zone. Try to be more precise. The start and stop of the spray at both ends of your pass. All about being efficient.
Whoa.
Is the right speed for a proper spray over the crops. Done.
All right, easy, Cracky.
Last pass could be better. Use spread material outside the zone. Try to be more precise.
Again, I keep feeling like I am. I keep going over the same lines. Got to get into those corners. good.
You're wasting your mix. Almost done right.
Almost done right.
When you're ready to fly back.
Damn it. Damn it, damn it. So, yeah, I mean, you can choose to do these at a leisurely pace, but then you don't get all of your bonus for speed. So you have to... You don't have to, but you kind of... If you want the speed bonus, you've got to fly like Cracky Johansson. You know, full rudder, and then you got the thing opened up, but then when you come back in, you got to pull the throttle out because you got to get back down to 110. Oh, shit. Ugh. Lost control again. Not enough power. We'll see if I can do a circle around the thing.
Remember, you're not here for the scenery. You should fly lower for better concentration of the product on the crops.
Yeah, it seems too fast, too overpowered. It's blah, 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 blah. Everything about this is goofy to me. It's like the skydiving mission. It's like take them up there. It takes like 20 minutes to get them up there. And then to get a decent score at all, you have to like dive bomb your way back to the ground as
Pass could be better.
as fast as possible.
Try to be more precise.
And it's just so dang dangerous. Or, you know, if you don't get a good score. Same with this. If you don't fly like Cracky Johansson, you're not going to get a good score. But that's the risk then, is you're going to be making mistakes like that after you get hypnotized. And it's just so easy to make a mistake and put yourself into the ground. Corners. I wonder how I'm gonna get. I picked this one because it had the most money on the field, but I'm wondering, with all these crashes that I've had during this one, how much of that money am I actually gonna make now?
Captain, you forgot to stop your spray again.
Yeah.
Already told you, stop your spray when you leave the field.
I think I may have damaged the plane too much. I don't know. That was a tough one. I'm not getting that damn bar to move.
Remember what is the right speed for a proper spray over the crops.
Yeah, My lord. Now it's like trying to fill in these little tiny spots.
That last pass could be better. You spread material outside the zone. Try to be more precise. You're pulling up too soon. You have to fully cover the area. Manage the start and stop of the spray at both ends of your pass. All about being efficient.
I almost feel like it's impossible now to just get all these little spots. It's very difficult doing a circular field. I suppose if I would have just kept doing one direction only, you know, that may have helped. But now, every pass, it doesn't seem like I'm getting anywhere at this point. Oh, shit. Alrighty. We're just gonna call it.
One flying back eyes. Cannon acknowledged.
It was like you were kissing those crops. Nice.
Yep. So you got to be careful, because man, that is some tough stuff. Whoops.
Thanks for the ride, pilot. Sebastian said you were a hero today. Let's have a look at your stats today. You know the trick of our trade. Fly low, earn high.
I shouldn't get anything for as bad as that one was. Not a thing. See, execution time. Even trying to fly as reckless as I could. Look, just 0. I don't feel that's right. Personally, I don't. I mean, that's not efficient trying to fly that way. And I did as fast as I could. I can't even imagine going slower than that. And I didn't get anything. It doesn't make any sense. So lost about $8,000 or more, and no bonuses, I'm sure. And took a hit to reputation. A small one though. Just fine. It's very kind of them. Shouldn't got an extra level for that. Not at all. Well, again, from here on out, today's title is starting to save money. So it didn't make a lot of money. I mean, there's such a huge discrepancy between, you know, cargo missions and everything else that you almost pretty much have to do these and the firefighting to make any money whatsoever. Then the cargo missions take like 5 hours, so the pay doesn't seem right for that. And all the other stuff, all the flight seeing and everything else, those only pay like 1,000. This was 81,000 credits. So you pretty much now are, you almost are. You have to. If making money is the only thing that matters right now, is to build up a big account to move on to create a company, then you're kind of stuck doing this. But as you can see, it doesn't penalize you too bad for breakups, but then the speed thing, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like I'm going to be doing a lot of agricultural spraying. And I should go watch some videos, tips and tricks from people that really do it. You know, what's the secret to getting that efficiency? How should you fly this damn thing? Seems crazy to me. Okay, well, I want to thank you for tuning in this afternoon. If you did, you stopped in, thank you. If I'm not following you, please say hello in the chat room and I'll rectify that. Other than that, you have a great remainder of your Monday day, and I will see you tomorrow.